Righty, good evening. It is March 9th, 5 p.m. The council will now meet in executive session to discuss litigation or legal risks of a proposed action or current practice that the agency has identified when public discussion of the litigation or legal risks is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency, as followed by RCW 42.30.1101 III. That is a mouthful. The council will be in executive session until 5:40 p.m. The council is not expected to take further action following the executive session. Thank you. Alrighty. I call the special meeting back to order, and we are adjourned at 5:41. Thank you. Good evening. It is Monday, March 9th, 6 p.m. We will start this meeting, call into order, and go right into the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. City Clerk, if we could take roll call, please.
Councillor Kelly Berger.
Here.
Councillor Pete Temslin.
Here.
Mayor Rachel Anderson.
Present.
Councillor Brandon Janice. Councillor Harmony Rudder.
Here.
And Deputy Mayor Nicole Hartman.
Here.
Could we get a motion to excuse Councillor Dan Butler, please?
I move to excuse Councillor Dan Butler's attendance at tonight's council meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Anybody opposed? All right. Seeing none, he is excused. Moving on to the approval of the final agenda. Any changes, edits, additions? Not seeing any. Could I get a motion to approve the final agenda, please?
I'd move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none, the final agenda is approved. No ceremonial tonight, and we are grooving into public comment. This is a limited public forum. Individuals providing public comment must not disrupt or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of the meeting. This is not a forum for hate speech. The City of Sequim supports the public's First Amendment right to free speech, but it does not support hate speech. Speakers are expected to be courteous and refrain from making hateful comments, sounds, or remarks. Any offensive words and conduct shared by the public do not reflect the city's values. The City of Sequim stands firm in its commitment to being an inclusive community and rejects discrimination of any kind.
For individuals attending in person, please take a moment to silence your cell phones. In a moment, I will collect the public comment sign-in sheet. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak on any topic, and there will be a timer visible on the screen. A total of 30 minutes or 10 speakers will be permitted for public comment. When your name is called, please state your name if you are representing an organization and your city of residence. And we have no one signed up for remote public comment tonight. Our first in-person speaker tonight is Michelle Rhodes.
Hello. Hi again. My name is Michelle Rhodes. I'm with the Sequim Irrigation Festival and I reside in the city of Sequim. I am here proudly to introduce our 131st Royalty Ambassador Court. We have Queen Tilly. You can wave. You can just wave. Prince Braden Baratel, Princess Caroline Cottle, and Princess Emma Rhodes. And now Queen Tilly is going to join me up here to say a few words.
Hello, I am Queen Tilly. The 2026 Royalty Ambassador Court is excited to represent the Sequim Dungeness Valley. We would like to invite you to our float rollout on March 21st at 4:15 p.m. We unfortunately are sold out of tickets for the kickoff dinner, but we do have the float rollout, which is free and available to the public. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tilly. We're looking forward to another great year. This court is going to do an amazing job representing Sequim, so thank you. And they have to leave now because they have to go practice their travel song. So maybe one day you guys will get to see it. We'll see.
John Zerner.
I'm John Zorner. I live in the county on the Old Olympic Highway. My zip code is the same as yours. I'm here to make a proposition that we change the name of Spruce Street to Ross Hamilton Boulevard in honor of a great photographer. That's it.
And that concludes public comment.
That's it.
All right, thank you for everybody that spoke this evening. No public hearing tonight. We will move on to the consent agenda. City Clerk, if you could let us know the consent agenda.
Tonight's consent agenda is claim vouchers totaling $721,664.44. City Council meeting minutes for February 23rd, 2026, and the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee meeting minutes and grants.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any opposed? Seeing none, that is approved as presented. And we will now move on to general business. SMC Chapter 3.14, Surplus Property Code Amendment, First Touch.
Good evening, Council. Purposes of the record, Christina Nelson Gross, City Attorney. Before you tonight is staff's recommended changes to SMC 3.14, which updates our city purchasing policies and surplus properties. So as you can see in your materials, a lot of this is really just kind of housekeeping and cleanup and taking care of some things that were missed or were not included in the prior cleanup. The substance of the surplus program remains the same, and this is just presented to you as first touch tonight with the opportunity for council to ask me questions, provide any input, and with that, if council is so inclined, staff would appreciate a recommendation to, or a vote to waive the second touch and place this on the consent calendar for next meeting. With that, I'm open to questions.
Any questions?
Do we have a policy for determining or calculating the aggregate value of an item? I just was also wondering, and when you say when aggregate value is referenced, does that mean a collection of items, or are items in evaluated on a per item basis?
So Heather, feel free to jump in because the clerk is often an integral role into this process. But a lot of times when we're talking about aggregate items, we're talking about things like 75 binders, right? We don't want to go through and list each value of the binder by itself. So it could be 75 binders has a value of $20 or whatever that is. So Heather, if you want to talk a little bit more about that, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, so if we have, for example, 75 binders or, you know, a volume of things, we just get an estimate. A lot of times we don't know if it's something that's old and outdated, we'll do a Google search or see what they're going for on eBay or something like that to help us get, you know, a good dollar value that we can kind of do a guesstimate for assessing a dollar value to those group of items.
I will add to that, you know, as it goes through the process, if the surplusing department puts a value on it, that as it comes through the process, you know, the clerk or finance or I may not agree with, we have relatively recently gone back and looked at things like Craigslist posting for similar items, or as Heather has said, go and do Google searches for what it may be, and that sort of thing. But, it is used equipment. And so as with most things that you sell, it is whatever, excuse me, what somebody would pay for. But we do make sure to document our due diligence as part of this process.
Great. Thank you. And so that kind of leads into my second question it's probably, if it has happened, it just wasn't at the front of my, as this came through, as I was contemplating this, I was wondering, well, then are we, getting an annual report of some sort to know what is being surplused, or as you mentioned, the city is documenting that. Just it would be good to see what is what's on that report, because if it's under 50,000, it's under city manager's purview. But then if it goes over that, then we know when those things are coming, because then it's a city council decision. So thank you.
Any other questions?
I guess I didn't phrase that as a question. So when, or let me try to say this. Is there a process for generating a report or providing said report to council on an annual basis of some sort?
Well, I suspect that there probably could be a process developed, but I guess what I would encourage council to do is that if you decide that that's something that council really wants to see, that you think about the types of things that you actually want to see and care about. For example, we do have to go through a similar process for dealing with the 75 binders, right? If council's interested in that, great. We can certainly do that. I would want to hear from the rest of council for that. But anything, I would just ask council to be clear on if they want to report, and if so, what type of things they would want to see. Because what I would not want to see from the staff perspective is something that an annual report ends up consuming more time to create than it is to actually go through the surplusing process, because we have the data, that the documentation for auditor purposes, but they're not entered into spreadsheets or anything like that. They're just maintained as an individual application, for lack of a better word. And again, Heather can speak more intelligently to this, because she ultimately goes through and collects all of the data and the documentation.
And I'll just add that it requires department director signature, clerk signature, and my signature. So nothing's leaving here without a lot of internal staff review.
Do you want? I can go in detail about the process if you would like, but Christina and Matt gave a pretty good overview. So if somebody wants to surplus something from their department, they bring it in, and here's a form. Mm-hmm. I have to have, do you have a picture of it? If they don't have a picture of it, give me a like-type item from the internet with your cost, or, they give 3 like similar items, and then the estimated value. Then they have to decide, do they want to, surplus it through, is it junk? Do they want to donate it? How do they want to get rid of it? So it's a very detailed process. There's 3 or 4 forms. They all have to get submitted to the auditor. And Sue also, once I get done with my process, it's all transferred over to Sue, and she holds all those records as well.
So technically, Sue could have that kind of data. The list of things that get surplused.
We could.
Yeah, it's okay. It was just a thought that came through as I was thinking about the whole process. So thank you. This has been enlightening. I appreciate the conversation.
Any other questions? Seeing none, is there a motion? I do not believe there has been a motion.
I'm prepared to make a motion. I move to waive the second touch on this matter and direct staff to present an ordinance adopting the amended code chapter SMC 3.14 on the consent agenda of the next available meeting. And once again, I'm very appreciative for the conversation.
Second.
Thank you. Is anyone opposed? I do not see any. So that motion is approved.
Thank you, Council. And Harmony, and for any other counselor who may be interested, our process is, as Heather pointed out, set forth in a pretty detailed policy and procedure guide. And if you would like a copy of that, Heather can certainly connect that with you.
Alrighty, thank you. We will move on to 10A, information only for the 2025 Annual Public Records Request Report. And here is Talina.
Hello, Council. I'm Talina. I'm the Records Officer, Talina Sandonay, sorry. Records Officer and Risk Analyst here at the city. And as you probably saw in the packet, my presentation for the 2025 public records requests that we received. It is a municipal code requirement that I come see you every year and bring you with this information. Public Records Act, everybody hates the Public Records Act, but they can come in multiple ways. We get an email, we get a phone call, we get people in person, they use our portal. And so staff has been really great about getting those requests to me as soon as possible. And so there's, as you saw, we had a little flow chart in there that kind of showed the process of how a request is processed. It gets to me, I assign a task to the responsible department. They fulfill the request. I do all the redactions. I release. I do all the communications with the requester. And you've probably heard us say this a million times, is no request, all requests are created equal. They are not created equal, I'm sorry. One can take 16 hours or one can take 5 minutes. That really depends on what the request is. We're seeing an uptick in body-worn camera requests. Last year, Council asked us to kind of track that and see how many. I think we had 73 or 71 body-worn camera requests that ranged from 1 body cam to 50. So everything in between, all the redactions, email searches. I've had email searches that were 24,000 emails that I have to read through every single one of them and communicate with the requester. So every request is different, and I spend a lot of time ensuring that they're done properly and within accordance of the law and all of those things. So making sure that redactions are made appropriately and, just communicating with the requester. I've created a lot of great relationships with people in our community and just having clear conversations with them about their requests and getting them exactly what they want. Instead of giving them 20,000 documents, weeding it out and getting them exactly what they want. So kind of proud of that I really worked with that. And, in 2023, we started using Next Requests. So the numbers that you saw in the presentation are really accurate. We're tracking everything that we can. I also started tracking you probably saw on the slide was from July 1st to the end of the year, all email and body-worn camera requests, how much time I spent on those requests. I am tracking through this whole 2026, so we'll have a clear picture of exactly what that looks like next year. It looks like 73 of the 261 police department requests we had were body-worn camera. We had an uptick in staff time, and mine was about 5,800 for the legal clerk department. And I just think that that's the emails and the body cam searches that we're doing. We did get reimbursed this year, almost $500. That's the most we've been reimbursed for invoices. We charge people that are not involved in an incident. We charge them for body-worn camera or for staff time. If they have a lot of electronic records, they want physical copies, so we do charge for those things. And so this year we did more invoices than we've ever done. So with this new system that we have, there's some new things coming. I imagine the police department, they keep telling me that dash cam videos are coming, so that we likely will see an increase in staff time for this year or whenever those go live. I haven't got the go live date yet on that, so I do know it's in the works as I look at the chief over there. Yep. So you all had a chance to review the requests or the presentation. Does anybody have any questions? I knew you would.
You knew I would. So you said you went live with Next Request in 2023?
Yep.
Was it? Okay, because when I was looking at the yearly comparisons, it was kind of like, well, it kind of went down, but then it was coming back up. But if you just look at 2023 to 2025, then it looks like all categories are slightly increasing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still far away from the threshold for JLARC reporting.
Oh yeah, we still report to JLARC.
Oh, yeah.
But we
Not
don't
the
have
detailed
to. But
reporting.
yeah, we do report to them just so we're in the habit of getting our information to them if we ever meet that threshold.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So yeah, I guess a little bit of slight, and the uptick seems to be spread out. It's not necessarily just police department and city, other
Yeah,
cities, they're both kind of on the increase.
yeah, they've gone up a little bit this year.
Yeah,
I think we're already ahead this year by 25 requests where we were at this time last year.
really.
So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions?
I have a question. Is there any intention to, so that sounds like a lot of work, reading through 20,000 emails. Are there any ways to use software of any kind to help make the process a little easier, like a keyword search or?
You can in the program that we use, you can do a search and it searches the attachments as well to emails, but I have to search them and get the responsive ones out first, and then I have to convert them to PDF and upload them into the system. So it's a PST file, so I have to open it in Outlook. I can do keyword searches there, and like if they don't want calendar invites, that's why I communicate with the requesters. Like, do you want newsletters? Do you want these are the things I'm seeing responsive to your request. And so I can thin it out that way, but each email has to be opened and saved as a PDF. So because you cannot upload message files, Outlook message files into Next Request. At this time, it is a fix that they're working on. Hopefully they'll kick it out this year or next. So.
That's a lot of work.
It
Thank
is.
you, Talina.
You're welcome.
And I want to ask another question. You mentioned that Next Request is bringing in some efficiency and that there are public records are available out there in a more self-serve way. Do you have any way of kind of quantifying the number of public record requests that are being deflected?
No, not at this time. I don't think that I have a clear way, or people will tell me, I looked at the portal or I looked on our electronic records repository. I couldn't really find what I was looking for. And so we are deflecting some. If we get a public records request for like the comp plan, for an example, we can send them to the website, and that typically they'll say, oh, this is everything I need. You can go ahead and close my request. So we are able to do that. And the portal, people can peruse the closed requests that have been made public. So we hope that when they put a keyword in, it will prompt a previous request that was done, and they will just go look at those and not put a request in. But some people are like, well, that was 6 weeks ago. What has happened since then?
And I would just add as well that, as Talina Talina's report shows that the vast majority of our reports are for police reports. And there will never be a time in which people can just go and peruse police reports.
Because of the sensitive information, there's a lot of driver's license, social security numbers, juveniles,
victim information.
Yeah, very sensitive information that we want to protect.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Talina.
Thanks. Have a good night.
You too. Right. That annual presentation is always really interesting to me. And I think every year I end up asking, what's the FTE looking like for needing more time? But I think the answer is always, well, if we need one, we'll come to you. Yeah. So unfortunately, we're not able to take questions throughout the council meeting process, but we will definitely take emails or letters if you have any questions. Actually, the city manager is really great at connecting with people that have questions during a council meeting.
I'll come over.
So I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you. All right, we will now move on to the Waterworth utility rate model update.
So I don't mind just Tina, is she the Michael up there? Amy's not here. She's attending remotely, but I will just tee her up while she becomes live. This is like the last presentation, really another win for software and technology. Talina's job has gotten, I mean, it's complicated already, but that new software has really integrated all forms of our media and made her life much better, especially on the retention side and being able to, eliminate records that we don't need to retain, et cetera, et cetera. This is the same sort of thing. This is, we bought that new software, so we didn't have to have a consultant. They shared that software and made it interactive for you to play with to get to your utility rate so that you could look your constituents in the eyes and know that you were doing the best you could with real live, software and actuarial data. So this is Public Works response. I'm kind of burning time here for them to come back and give you a report on how that has turned out to be. We were sharing information with supposed expenses and what we saw coming and as accurately as we could. And because now we have actual data, we wanted to come back to you so you would know the end of the story as well. So I can keep going if she's not available, but do you see her there, Heather, or not?
Yep, give us 1 minute.
Okay. The cover letter, it was very short, but it basically said that. We just, anytime I see a win, and especially things that would matter to you all and your conversations to your constituents, I just think, oh, we should get that information back to them. That would be helpful. And so that's what this is just kind of a return and reporting of actual data instead of estimated data.
I really appreciated the presentation that Amy prepared and put in the council packet. It was a lot of information. I was almost like, man, I want to go right back and, take notes because her narrative was really great. But it would have been nice to have the narrative typed up, but it's okay. The long and short, as you mentioned, is that we're using the software.
Am I unmuted?
Hey, she's here.
Ta-da. Amy, you're on.
I've been here the whole time. Hi, Council. This is Amy Doherty, Public Works Business Asset Senior Manager, and I apologize for not being there in person tonight. Wanted to share with you the results of what our update to the Waterworth software actually looks like. I provided you a voiceover PowerPoint presentation that compared our side-by-side for both the water utility and the sewer utility. Are there any questions about the information provided?
I'm not seeing any questions for you, Amy, but I can say I'm pretty confident that we're all very appreciative of the time and effort you put into this. I'll also make a comment that I was really excited. It might be a nerdy thing to say, but I was really excited to see the projection versus the actual. That's always kind of an exciting, because you don't know what might happen and what might change. And so it was very exciting to see the projection versus the actual. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. All right, well, you'll see another update sometime probably around June when we start doing our 27 budget modeling. We'll come to you with a very similar presentation that shows our 25 actuals compared to our 26 projections as far as updating for the 27 budget.
Excellent. Thank you, Amy. Have a great night.
All right, great. Thanks. Bye.
All right, we will now move on to reports. Youth Liaison report. What is fun and exciting and all the great updates from the school district?
Hello, council members and audience. For purposes of the record, this is Lincoln Forrest speaking, student liaison. First things first, we hosted a blood drive last Thursday at the high school for staff and students. I think it was pretty successful. We had a good amount of people show up, donate blood, which was great. One of the biggest things I ended up hearing, though, is that there was a lack of community service, like not community members able to show up because of our school policy. So we, I think we have a couple of students saying, reaching out to them saying, hey, maybe we should find a way to get a community event going on so that way community members can donate, just because our school policy does not allow for that at the moment. Next thing is we have our spring sports starting. This includes sports like boys soccer, girls softball, boys baseball, track and field, girls tennis, and am I missing one, Lily? And I believe that's all of them. And I'm so sorry to any sports that I might have forgotten. I swear it wasn't intentional. Last thing for me is that the senior class has started their flocking fundraiser. So depending on where you live, you may or may not get some pink flamingos in your yard asking for some money for the senior graduation party. And if you happen to find some students in your yard placing them, please do not go out and yell at them. It will terrify us. That happened to maybe a couple of people last night, and hopefully not tonight, because I'm going to be one of them tonight. And please, please, please be nice if you see us.
I actually have a really quick question about that, because
Yes.
Stay with me here. Just thinking as a parent and thinking about my kid going into somebody else's yard, a stranger's yard. Also, I'm a pretty overprotective mom. And so my whole thing is like, you have an adult with you, right? That can like deflect those kinds of conversations. Do you have an adult with you?
Some of the members are 18, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
We have a complaint form that we carry with us. Maybe not one of the more shady fundraisers we do for sure, but it's someone doing it. It's a lot of fun. I can tell you that. So, yeah.
It's just a great time of year. I really hope nobody gets so upset by it. It's for a good cause.
Exactly. So if you get, we do have a no flock list. That is something that has started. But if you get some pink flamingos in your yard, we would really appreciate a donation for the senior grad party. Thank you.
I do have a comment on that. Make sure you get one of the parents to go out and put flamingos out and see how they do. I had to do it.
Like a parent night.
The fire chief didn't catch me.
Hello, for the purposes of the record, this is Youth Liaison Lily Chemsland. So we are having a college night tonight for grades 9 through 11 to talk about college things and scholarships and other stuff. We have a talent show Thursday at 7 p.m. at the high school auditorium. Come on out. It's going to be really fun. I think it's by donation, so you don't have to pay to get in, but the donations, I think, are getting split with the senior class ASB, which is great. And there's a lot of students who are hopefully going to share their talents. So that's really exciting.
Thank you so much. Any other questions for our youth liaisons? All right, moving on to city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor, and Council. It's always good to meet with you. I will add something, unless I missed it by talking to our resident. The other student liaison, Layla, received the Emerging Leader Award a couple days ago, just last week. I think it was Tuesday or something like that. It was Chamber of Commerce. They had 3 different awards, and one of them was an Emerging Leader. It's the first year they've had that, and she was nominated and won. So your very own student liaison is an emerging leader in the eyes of the whole community. So that was a kind of a vote. So cheers. Did you all know that? Oh yeah, no, it's in the paper and it's all over. Yeah, so yeah, that was, and that leads into one of the things I wanted to mention to council. It was just a great week to interact with so many of you. Several of you were at that chamber luncheon, award banquet. Several of you were at the gala, EDC gala, and I really appreciated being able to sit and socialize with you and the rest of the leaders in the community. We were, of course, the Sunshine Festival. I couldn't talk about anything tonight without including that in my conversation. Thank you all for attending. We had the national anthem. We had the mayor's kickoff address. All of you, several of you were involved in so many aspects of that. So thank you very much. It was just a great week and I hear from staff when you do that. So thank you for that. Just 2 last things I wanted to quickly touch on. I wanted to give a shout out to HR. They're really moving. They've been busy, but we're about ready to close on several key positions. We still get Public Works Director applications, but we're moving into second and third interviews there. We'll see where that goes. Same with the police officer, same with the code enforcer, same with the business analyst, asset analyst, etc. GIS coordinator. So those are big positions, and we are pretty specific in what we will accept as a final candidate. So just wanted to thank them for all the work to get us to the position that we're in now. And lastly, I don't even think it's in my report, but we have it's kind of a facility connectivity interdepartmental committee. It's Public Works, it's IT for sure, facilities. And this is a big initiative that many of us feel is really important. It's to get every one of the city's facilities at least connected so that we can follow up should we wish, and we think we do, to be able to put badge access and some controls on so many important parts of our facilities and potentially infrastructure. If we can get them connected, and Matt Lawson's doing a great job with Oleg and some other facility staff help. Once we get it connected, then we can put software there. We can put badge access. We can put video and other things. SCADA is another software that's really important at the water and sewer facility. So I just wanted to let you know that we're working on that and moving it fairly quickly forward. A lot of work to get lines of sight, bringing trees down so we can shoot from one facility to the next and whatnot. But it's really in the end, this city will be greatly benefited by that work. So he he put a Starlink satellite on our sewer truck and now on the emergency management trailer. So we will have internet no matter what happens around here and in real time as we, drive that truck around or move that trailer around. So really great things there. I just wanted to just call them out. Thank you. Any other questions that you have for me? Happy to answer.
Maybe someone would like to see a live video of a sewer. No takers?
I mean, I'd watch that just for the experience, but I might be the only one.
I think that's your pet baby there, Pete.
All righty.
I have a quickie question. It sounds like some grants are coming together, and one in particular for Simdar's Highway 101. Could you speak more about the grants that have been submitted, please?
You have what I have, so they're just applications. So we don't. You know, I wonder if I should be alerting you when we're just applying or when we receive them, because we don't always, get the grant awarded. So, so many things I'm aware of on the front end, and I don't know if that's newsy enough to share with you or only upon award. But the fact is, we've got a very active grant coordinator. Doing a great job using AI where she can to help crawl web spaces to find grant opportunities and to help her submit grant applications. So much of that is redundant, and so she's really a bright person and using the technology and all the resources she can, because she's a sole person and has other hats that she wears. So the dollar amounts and to where they're going is what I shared.
That's really exciting. Hopefully the grant writing endeavors are successful, given what has been going on in Olympia. Thank you.
That is really the most important part. Is Paul realized it was going to be a long shot to try to get any money out of the state legislature for some really important infrastructure out here, particularly our roads in the Simdars east side of the city. So without really making a big deal to the legislators, letting them know that we were going to also try a redundant way to get access to some funds to move that forward, whatever we can do. So, yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, moving on to the City Council Committee report. I just have one or a couple updates from the Sister City Association. One is we updated the display in the lobby, so there's one. And then number two is we are working hard to have an event. We'll be having a Friendship Garden open house on April 4th, noon to 3. All kinds of activities like paper crafts. There's a digital storytelling like QR code, kind of field trip through the garden tours, just all kinds of fun stuff. So we are very excited for that. Any other council committee reports? I will just mention, hopefully you got it, Councillor Butler's report from the Jamestown Healing Clinic Advisory Board. So that is for you. All righty. Well, with no other City Council committee reports, we will move on to open council discussion. Let me move my page right here. I do just have 3 quick. So the city manager compensation process is underway. We have, so let me try and explain this whole thing. We have a consultant that we use when we are going through all of our staff compensation changes, and we have that consultant on retainer that we can use in order to find some comparable data to make better decisions in regards to the city manager's compensation. So I am moving forward with conversations with her. I believe her name's Milena. That sounds right. With McGrath. And so just letting you know that is the update. I'm hoping to bring to you some ranges or recommendations, hopefully within the next couple meetings. I don't want to rush it, but I also don't want you to wait too long either. Okay, so that was that one. The council retreat update, I have consolidated all of the survey results and I'll be working with staff to have some conversations around logistics and the best way to move forward with what everybody wants to get out of that retreat. So hopefully I'll have another update at the next meeting. Hopefully that update will be, our retreat will be when and where. Also, that reminds me we should put out a survey saying like what days and times work best for council to have the retreat. I'm hoping it works for everybody before a council meeting. So a little work session before a council meeting. That's the goal. But who knows? People's schedules might change. And so just trying to be really mindful of that. That is that update. And then I just wanted to huge shout out to the Sunshine Festival organizers and coordinators. Our city staff is so dedicated to making things amazing for everybody. And I think this was the best Sunshine Festival yet. So I had a great time. And when I was looking around, it looked like everybody else was having a great time. So I'm just really thankful for our city staff and all of our volunteers and absolutely all of our sponsors. So thank you so much to all of them. Okay. Anybody else have anything for open council discussion?
I have one thing I'd like to bring up. As I was checking my email today and going through inbox, I noticed an email from the AWC about the annual conference, just starting to get that conversation going. Last year, it was in Kennewick, and it was a lovely experience. It was my first time going. There were 3 counselors from Port Angeles and 3 counselors from Port Townsend there. So it was a really awesome opportunity to network with them, on fellow counselors on the peninsula, and also folks from across the state. So that will be, this time it's going to be in Spokane from June 23rd through June 26th. And I just wanted to bring the conversation up this evening and kind of gauge council interest in the AWC annual conference.
I'll have to look into it and then report back. Yeah, but yeah. All right. Anything from anybody else? Kind of a quick meeting. All right. Well, we will move on to planning. We have agenda planning Wednesday, March 18th at 9 a.m. I will be there. I'm assuming Nicole will be there. Pete may or may not be there. You plan to be? No. Okay. You'll be out of town. That's right. Okay. So if anybody else is interested in going, go ahead and shoot me an email or city clerk an email, just so that we know. Yeah.
It's a maybe. Right now I'm in between. I'm hunting for a new opportunity for me professionally right now. The work I was doing is no longer happening. Federal funding being what federal funding is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the hunt for something new. So I have a little more free time on Wednesdays and Tuesdays than I did in the past.
Okay.
So I'd say pencil me in.
Okay.
And then I will confirm or not as soon as I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Sounds great.
So other counselors should still stay. If other folks are interested, they should also step forward. But yeah.
Okay.
I think it's be the second agenda planning meeting I get to go to, which is fabulous. Okay. Thank you.
Right? Yeah. All right. Thank you. And our next regular city council meeting will be Monday, March 23rd at 6 p.m. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you so much. Any opposed? I assume not. Not seeing any. All right, everybody have a great night. We are adjourned. Thank you. 6:49 p.m.